continuing our series on the 10 ways to make money from real estate investment. And so our topic today is joint venture in property. So what is joint venture? A property joint venture is a collaborative business arrangement where two or more parties combine their resources to undertake a real estate project. This allows each party to contribute their unique strengths, whether it is capital, expertise, or land, towards a shared goal. Notice the letters in bold: two or more parties, then contributing their unique strengths. So the essence of joint venture is basically for parties to come together. What one party cannot do, two or three people can come together to say, okay, let us join hands and do this project. That is why you are seeing what? Handshaking. They sign a deal. Okay. So what are the key characteristics of joint venture? Number one, collaboration. It involves a partnership between two or more parties. Parties work together towards a common real estate objective. Resource sharing. Typical resources normally contributed by parties are what? Land, funds, expertise. So what we are saying here is that these are the three major things that people, and in fact, this is what is normally required if you want to undertake a real estate project. One, you need what? Land. You need what? Funds. And then you need what? Expertise. Expertise means people who can do the job. I give you a typical example. Somebody can have land. He don't have money. All he has is land. Another person can have money. That's all he has. If he don't know anything about real estate, he don't know how to go about it, then another person can be an expert in real estate development. That means it is possible. They have the construction team, they have the marketing team, they have everything required to do the real estate, but they may not have land or have the money to do it. They are just professional. A typical example is a company that is into construction. They have expertise in construction, but they don't have the land or don't have the money. So it can be in any form. It's possible that somebody is bringing only land, but the other person is bringing both funds and expertise. Or somebody have land, he has the expertise, and another person bring money. Any of this combination can work. It can be three, it can be two, depending on what each individual is bringing to the table and how the agreement is structured. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So another characteristic is shared risk and rewards. Profit and rewards are shared according to pre-agreed arrangement. This shared responsibility mitigates individual risk. If you are taking a project alone, everything, all the risk involved in the project is on your head. Is it true or false? But if two of you come together and say, okay, we are joining hands to do this, you share the risk. If it comes out good, everybody smiles to the bank. If it turns out to be a loss, everybody will bear the loss. You mitigate your own loss as compared to when you are doing it alone. Define purpose and duration. Normally formed for a specific project and have a limited duration, ending upon completion of the project. The terms of the venture are outlined in a legally binding joint venture agreement. Legal structure. Joint venture can take various legal forms such as limited liability companies, partnership, contractual agreement. So what we are trying to say here is this: 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, depending on how they want to do it, can come together and form a company just for joint venture. and this company comes to an end when the purpose is achieved. Do you understand me? It doesn't mean that, okay, maybe they do one project and later decide to do another one, that you must end it on first project. But the company is mainly based for what? For this joint venture purpose. Do you understand? They can use it to do three or more projects, but the day they say, okay, we are okay with this joint venture agreement, the company ends that day. Do you understand me? If the company is formed for this purpose of joint venture only. Do you understand me? This is not different from, say, maybe two or three people say, okay, we are forming a company for forever. Do you understand? But if the purpose for registering the company was for joint venture, when you finish the joint venture agreement, that ends the company. Is it understood? Then partnership, sorry, go back. Partnership just means, okay, maybe it's not, the company is not a limited liability company. Two people can also come and say, we are doing what? Partnership, but the company is not a limited liability company. I hope we know what limited liability company means.
Yes, sir.
Eh? Okay. So others ones could just be a formal contractual agreement. You can, as we are, as a company, we can, okay, just find a real estate company like us and say, okay, we have this project, let us join hands together. We didn't formalize it as a company, but we have an agreement that this is what we are going to do. It can also work. So how do you make money from joint venture? Profit generation. You develop and sell. Most joint venture is normally focused on developing a property and selling it. Do you understand me? It doesn't mean that the other ones can also work, but I'm saying majority of them are for the sole purpose of, developing a property and selling it. Property could be residential houses, it could be commercial, just anything at all that is property development. So sharing arrangement can be 60-40, 70-30, or whatever terms already agreed. So what we are trying to say here is this. If you hear some, if you see some of the adverts that they are putting up for property joint venture, you hear 60-40, 70-30. 60-40 is what most people demand. What it simply means is that the developer will take 60% of the property, while the person that brought the land will take 40. But please, this thing is not cast in stone, because there are what? So many things involved. I'll give you an example. If you have a land in Kuba, Abuja, for example, and somebody have a land in Maitama, the sharing formula may not be the same. Because of what? The value of land. Do you understand me? So please, let nobody tell you, say, joint venture is normally 60-40, this, that. No. When you want to undertake the project, there are things that are involved. First of all, we value the what? The land.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes,
you
sir.
Value the land and find out what is the value of the land first.
Yes, sir.
Then you say, okay, we are going to build, if it is residential houses, how many housing units can we build there? You take into consideration all the processes from making the design, securing approval, building, marketing, sales, everything together. You bring the total cost together. So when you have the cost of land, you have the cost of what? Building. Then you now be able to go to negotiating table and say, okay, this is how, by then you even know how much percentage is for the land. Because when you put the whole cost together, you take the cost of the land, you find out the percentage, then you can now begin to talk of the percentage that you will agree. So it's a model that require due diligence at every stage, not only in this sharing arrangement, but every stage of joint venture agreement require due diligence. You must be able to know what you are doing, because if you are a developer and you didn't get the cost of building the houses correctly, you're already in trouble. It will be difficult if somebody brought his land, you enter into joint venture with him to develop it. Then midway, you begin to tell the person, say, okay, I made mistake, I didn't know it will cost this. Most people will not listen to that. And that is one of the major things that lead to dispute. Of course, when you are building the cost of the houses, you can put for contingencies. But if your fundamentals, the basis on which you took the decision was not correct in the first place, it might be difficult. Because if, for example, the project is going up, cost of the project is going from 100 million to 150 million, out of your own mistake, not market forces, you find out that there will be what? A problem. Because the person that brought his land has expectation. Of course, he could have sold his land and just put his money in his pocket. Do you understand me? So getting the cost of knowing what you are doing, especially determining what is going to cost you to build the houses, is very, very important. Then rental income. In some joint venture, the goal is to generate ongoing rental income. The profits are then distributed based on agreed percentage. So some people can also say, okay, this property, we are not going to sell it. We just want to use it to generate what? Rental income. Our purpose is not for sale. We want to generate rental income. It can also be like that. Then property appreciation. Even if the property isn't sold immediately, its value may increase over time. The joint venture can then sell the property later for higher profit, realizing a profit. So you can see that this third model, or how you can get money from it, is more or less a combination of the first and second. Because you can build a property and say, okay, we are not selling this property now, we want to collect rent from it for 10 years. At the end, you will still sell it, but the value must have appreciated, and you have gotten what? Rental income. So it combines sales and rental income. Is that understood?
Yes.
So what are the benefits of joint venture? As we said before, risk. A good way to mitigate the inherent risk on real estate investment. We all know that real estate investment, especially when it comes to development, there are a lot of what? Risk. We will see the risk associated later. So increase access to funding. This is a very essential for large-scale projects. Wider market reach, provide access to new markets and customers. Resource sharing, equipment, manpower, technology, and networks. You can share all this. Access to expertise. For example, one partner might have expertise in land acquisition, while another has expertise on construction or marketing. The combination of skills can significantly enhance the chances of project success. Flexibility can be structured to meet specific needs, thereby leading to benefit maximization. Then increase profit potential. The combination of expertise and resources will lead to higher profit in projects. So basically, what we are trying to say here is that when you join hands with people to do things, it has a lot of benefit. As we said before, the risks are shared. You won't be the one carrying the whole risk. Of course, if you are doing joint venture, you can have your other projects, but on this one, you share the risk. Risk sharing is very, very important. Because of what? A lot. I hope you people, okay, can you people give me some examples of risk associated in real estate development? Then the major risk is this: price fluctuation, especially in our own part of the world. Do you understand me? As I think I shared this before. In our Dimac Hillview Estate, when we set out to do the project, we made all our plan, we did all our planning, all feasibility studies. But when we got to site, it did not work. It did not work. In fact, we were lucky that before we saw what we saw, when there was a change in regime, they floated the exchange rate and removed subsidy on premium motor sprays. We had already finished the job. In fact, if we hadn't finished the project before that time, it will be very, very difficult for us to finish the project, because the cost of finishing the project should have been almost 3 times. So price fluctuation is one of the biggest risks, especially in our climate where inflation rate is always escalating. Do you understand? Then there could also be property flaws. Issue of demolition, okay, you can take some measures by doing due diligence on development approval and all that. But it's also a risk, of course. It's a risk. Government can change their policy and say, okay, we're not doing here. But if you have your papers, they'll find a way to compensate you. Then look at things like increased access to funding and wider market reach. This is another big advantage. I'll give you an example. Let's say now, as a real estate company, we are here in Abuja. We want to take our real estate business to Lagos. You know, breaking into, you see the effort we are trying to make now to establish ourselves in Abuja here. So you can get to, if you go to Lagos on your own, for example, you are going to start this process all over again. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
To get, you know, customer base, get known in the industry and stuff like that. But let's say your model to enter Lagos is that you want to partner with a well-established real estate company that already have market in Lagos and have customers in Lagos. Going to joint venture could be a way to break into that. Not only locally, even if you are okay, let's say you want to now go global, you can look for a company outside the country you are going and partner with them and use their customer base and the market they already have to enter that place. By the time you do 1 or 2 projects together, you get known and you start doing on your own if you want. It's one of the great benefit. Then resource sharing, that one is also there. You can share manpower, you can share technology. You understand? So those are some of the advantages you can. Then access to expertise, as this one is very, very self-explanatory. Somebody can buy land easily. He knows, he's very good at it. You understand me? You can work with that person. Another person could be an expert in construction, as I said before. So these are what the benefits. And when you put all these things together, definitely your profit on the project will be increased. So are there risks in joint venture? There are many. In fact, joint venture, before you enter it, you need to weigh all these risks very, very well. You need to weigh the risk. In fact, joint venture is not something you just go and start and enter into it. You need a lot of professionals to advise you and due diligence. In fact, you cannot do enough of due diligence when you are going into joint venture. So number 1 risk is conflict between partners. I have seen it. This is one of the major risks involved in it. And what could lead to conflict between partners? Misaligned goals and vision. If the goals and missions of the 2 parties that are undertaking the project is not the same, you will definitely find conflict in between them. And once conflict come into the project, it will start leading to so many other things. Then communication breakdown. Then differing management style. If there's no proper communication, if you are doing joint venture, you need to be up to date with communication. Do you understand me? As a company, let's say you entered into joint venture with another company. If a major incident happen in your company that will affect the joint venture, you need to let the other party know beforehand. The party should not hear it from news or other people. You should be the one to, because you can do everything all your due diligence, do all the preparation, but something just happen because you are not God. There is something that can happen that is just beyond your control. It's not something that you can control. The best way to handle it, let your organization be the first person to inform the other party. Do you understand me? Because if the other party get to hear it from a third party, the assumption will just be that you are trying to hide it from them. So if something happens, the first thing you need to do is quickly inform them. This is what happened. This is what we are trying to do about the situation. So communication is very, very important. Then differing management style. If the management policy of the two companies are not the same, it may present a very, very big problem. Do you understand me? I give you an example. Somebody could be, let's say, two people that are doing joint venture. The policy of one company in terms of development, maybe the one party want to do lean construction or what they call backward integration. That means they want to do the project themselves. They will hire workers do the work. The other person will prefer, okay, I don't have the time and stress to manage people on site. I want to give these people this project out on contract. Do you understand me? If these things are not properly agreed upon before they start the project, it could be a problem. Do you understand me? In fact, it's also one of the major problems because let's say, for example, somebody brought land and another person brought money and brought the expertise to do the job. Who do you people think should control how the project is done on site? No, but it's not. In some cases, the person that brought land will start bringing what? Overbearing influence. He starts sending people to you. Give this person contract. Give this person supply. You see that it could be a problem because he is feeling that he has a stake in the project, even though there may be agreement. But you know, people. So somebody will say, okay, you have this kind of project and your people cannot benefit from it. Send this person so that they give the person contract. All those things are what? They come under conflict between partners. Another one is what? Financial risk. Project cost overrun. This is a very, very big issue because if person is entering into a joint venture with the hope that at the end of the project, he will get, for example, 500 million that is coming to him. When the project overruns, he will not get the 500 million and it becomes an issue. Then you have market fluctuation. We have discussed that the market fluctuation could come in cost in terms of the cost of building the project or even in making sales. Do you understand? Maybe you projected you are going to sell a 4-bedroom duplex for 200 million, but the market did not allow you to get to that. Some people may not easily understand, and it could be a very big challenge. Difficulty in accessing funding. It could also be an issue. Maybe they make projection, we are going to get money from here, we want to take part of the money for the project from bank, and the exchange rate move from interest rate move from 20% to 27.5% is an issue. Then you have legal and contractual risk, poorly drafted agreement, liability issues, and regulatory changes. So one of the key to success in this model is that you must get the legal and contractual agreement correctly. As you are seeing, we see that coming together to do this kind of project have a lot of risk involved in it. So if it is not, the agreement is not properly structured, it becomes a problem. An example is like this price fluctuation. When you are making the agreement, say, okay, we have done our bill of quantities, we have done our costing, this is what is going to be the cost of executing this project? Is there a clause in the agreement that if the prices of material in the market go beyond what we use as our basis, the sharing of percentage will be changed? Do you understand me? Because don't forget that when they say 60-40, sometimes it could be what? That if you develop the house finish, maybe there are 100 houses in it, I will take 40 houses, you take 60 houses. Do you see the issue now? But if it is on profit, okay, the person will even say, okay, how much are we expecting as profit on this? You can say, based on this calculation, this will be the profit. If it didn't go well and it is not structured, the agreement is not structured to accommodate such change in price, it will be a problem. So getting the legal getting the agreement correctly is also very, very important. Liability issues. Liability issues could be, okay, let's say, for example, two companies join together and one company run into a serious issue that will affect the core foundation of the company. Maybe they have a very big liability from government or from individual, maybe somebody sued them and their issue. Just, I hope you understand what it means by liability. And so it could affect the outcome of the project. Okay, stay on the risk. So project execution delay. We all know that construction delays, the longer a project, the more costly it becomes. Nefisat will tell us better. Abi? Because of what? Running costs, so many things that are involved. Then construction defects. If the job is not properly done, it could also be what? A problem. You finish houses, people are not buying it because the house was poorly built. There are so many issues. If this person buy and he's having problem, he or she will go and tell another person, this people's house is not good. It could be a problem. Then sales or rental challenges. If you are having difficulties in sale, you finish the house, you could not sell it as at Queen plan. You know, don't forget that in any project, there's what they call what? Cost of funds. Do you understand me? Cost of funds, even if the money belongs to your company, funding comes with a cost. So if you finish the project and you cannot sell it, your cost of fund will do what? Continue to increase. Because consider any money you are putting on the project as a borrowed fund. Do you understand me? Then you talk about due diligence risk. This where inadequate partner vetting. We have discussed this briefly. You must also vet the person you are entering into joint venture very well. It should not be somebody who has EFCC case. It should not be somebody who have, in fact, you have everything about the joint venture. You need to go into detail. If somebody is bringing land, how did he or she buy the land? What is the source of the fund? Do you understand me? Or the person use the land he's giving you. He has used it to borrow money for bank. And then you enter into joint venture as a developer. You begin to put your money in the project. One day bank just come and say, we are taking over this project. Could you see? So who you are, then criminal record. Criminal record. If the person that is involved in the joint venture, because when the problem comes, they will just descend on the project. Do you understand me? Though they are, you can put some legal clause on it to protect the project, but sometimes these things are easier on paper. When it comes to practical, it becomes difficult. For example, if EFCC or DSS come into it, then that means you need to begin to bring your contractual agreement, begin to prove this and that. It's not good for any business. So who you are entering, whether it's a company or it's an individual, the people behind the project, you need to be very, very sure of them. Then property flaws. Property flaws means like what we have discussed before. The title of the land is not good in the first instance. Do you see that it's now a problem? Eh? Or maybe the land in question is in dispute. So there are a lot of due diligence for you to do when you are undertaking this kind of project. Next slide. Okay, so joint venture risk mitigation measures. So despite this risk, it's still a good model, as you have seen before. I gave an instance of a company that is here in Lagos, in Abuja, I mean, and you want to go to Lagos for the first time. Is one of, it has advantage, but it has disadvantage. So what you can do as an individual is to look at the risk. What are the things you can do to mitigate the risk? As we have said before, since we started this series, there's no business model that does not have its own risk. Eh? There are two R's to any investment: reward and what? Risk. So, but if you have taken time to understood all the risk, the best thing you can do is to put measures in place to mitigate the risk, so that those risks will not negatively impact the project and make it not to succeed. So what are the measures? Thorough due diligence on your partner, comprehensive joint venture agreement. Your agreement must be comprehensive. Think out of the box. Think of every other thing that will happen. Have an exit plan. Let's say this project can no longer go on again. How do we end the project? Do you understand me? So those things should be what? Part of the agreement. Then professional advice from expertise. Yes, we have discussed this briefly. You cannot, every aspect of this model, this model is not a place you want to go and say you want to learn. Do you understand me? You must be able to know what you are doing. If you are not very sound in understanding legal documents, if your partner made the, or whoever made the agreement, make sure that you hire a professional to explain to you the implication of some of the terms in the agreement. Joint venture for me is not a place that a model that you will go not knowing very well all the things you have to you're supposed to know. It's not a learning ground. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Then effective communication among us stakeholders. We have discussed that whatever happens, the other party should hear from you first, not from a third party. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Okay, then have a risk mitigation plan, which is what we have basically discussed. If risk mitigation plan means if this thing happens, what are we to do? If you don't have a plan in the first place, when things begin to happen, you will become confused. But if you have a risk mitigation plan already, that means you are expecting that this kind of risk can occur. So once what you anticipate occur, you go to your plan and look into the best option to adopt to mitigate the risk. So by understanding and addressing this risk, participants can increase the likelihood of a successful property joint venture. So if you understand the risk, you know what to do when the risk occurs. So this is where we draw the curtain on today's series on joint venture. So partnership opportunity with DMARC Group. So if you are come across this video and you want to partner with us as independent sales person, you can have the following benefits: commission or say, free access to our marketing and promotion materials, opportunity to participate in our training programs like this one, free access to latest industry knowledge. We always keep updating ourselves with knowledge in the industry, because in this our 21st century, knowledge is the new money. Then opportunity to win fantastic prizes as best performing sales executive. So you can visit our website or call on the number on the screen to reach us. Thank you for watching this video. And if this video made sense to you, please kindly subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that each time I release a video like this, you'll be the first person to be notified. Thank you very much for watching this video. Bye.